Cheetah in Cheshire, Rob the Justice League issue 2, Greg Rucka writing with NICOLA SCOTT on the art. So yeah, loved issue 1 of this. It was so good having Rucka back, and that NICOLA SCOTT art obviously as well. Just stunning. And I think this was another solid issue. I think issue 1 was such a neatly well-paced issue because it was introducing the ideas. This one, inherently, the structure is not quite as perfect, or I shouldn't even say that, because it's perfect for what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But, like, inherently, it's just an issue 2. But there's a lot of cool stuff here. I love Cheetah and Cheshire debating who to, like, recruit for their team. I love that Leon's, like, hanging around as kind of the teenage daughter in the background who casually just, jabs with Cheetah verbally. That's kind of fun. But the debates of, like, okay, let's get this character and this character, and they're like, no, you fool, they'll just stab us in the back. But we need people who'll go under the radar, who might actually, do what we say. For example,
they specifically point out, like, no A-listers. A-listers all have their own stuff going on. We don't want any of that. We want someone who's going to be able to follow a plan.
So they have these debates, and it kind of leads to them being like, okay, Cheetah thinks she knows one person that might be good for something, and Cheshire knows one person that might be good for something. So they both kind of go off to recruit someone individually each.
You can feel, like, the Ocean's 11 editing style here.
Oh yeah,
going to recruit for the heist.
Yeah, I actually don't think I clocked who this character was that Cheshire goes to go see.
I just looked it up. It is an old character that they're doing a deep dive for. Her name is Hazard.
I don't know if that sounds familiar or not. I really don't know. Yeah. But she's in a casino, and it kind of establishes that she is helping this old guy win by cheating at the poker or whatever he's playing. And she's just sitting over at the slot machine. And basically, Cheshire shows up. The art here is phenomenal. The body alignment, the surprise on this character's face when Cheshire shows up. Her getting in her ear and kind of like whispering, I heard a rumor that when Absolute Power happened, I mean, that's not how she says it, obviously, because they wouldn't use the name of the story, but when Absolute Power happened, I heard you got a few new tricks. And turns out she can manipulate electric devices, and that includes the slot machines, and this is one of the key abilities that are going to be useful for getting into the Watchtower. They need someone who can manipulate the doors and tech and things like that. So
it's not even like just electric stuff. She says it's anything that is electronic, but the way that she phrases that her powers are essentially luck based. So the way that it works is she's nudging, like, the electrons and the quantum level of chance to be able to do whatever she wants them to do.
And she proves this by setting off every single slot machine in the casino. They all start giving out a jackpot. And they kind of get into that as well, like, where she's like, wait, don't they get suspicious that you keep winning? And I guess this whole idea of, like, her powers being kind of luck based is that also applies to, like, the cameras and things like that. And
it's like, they just happen to not be able to see you at all times. Wouldn't you know? How lucky.
Yeah. Whereas Cheetah goes to Florence to meet with what turns out to be Clarion, who's using his cat to try and steal a book, but Cheetah's already nabbed it because she's, a cat. There's actually several references in this to, like, Cheetah. Like, so Cheetah's kind of like, makes a little look or whatever when she sees that, oh, you're familiar as a cat. But also later on, when someone suggested as a potential teammate, it's like, oh, you might like her. She's got, like, a whole cat kind of, like, thing going, like, in her dress code.
Got a cat ears hoodie.
Yeah. So yeah, Clarion's an interesting pick. Definitely another kind of, C-lister, I guess we'll call him. Yeah.
I mean, I've literally only read one series by him ever. It was New 52. It was by Ann Nocenti, and it was not a good time.
I mean, I've never read a Clarion, like, solo book, but he's definitely shown up in things, and he's been in, like, animated series and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's always just kind of generic magic villain, though. I don't feel like I know him as a character at all.
Yeah. Cheetah's way of enticing him into the heist is she's like, I've got a secret you're going to like to hear. And we don't get to hear what it is. We just hear a whisper in his ear. And the cat's like, because the cat can talk to him, just in case anyone wasn't, aware of that. The cat's like, what did she say? What did she say? And he just smiles and says, brilliant. So I don't know if it's like one of the things that they know the Justice League have got up there that they can let him keep or something, or if there's something else going on here. But
well, she specifically says, hey, I've got something. It's about a god.
Oh, true. She does say that. You're right.
So, I mean, my thinking is, because we're talking about gods, we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman. That's the only idea I've got there, but nothing else.
And they keep this thing going, because remember last issue, it started with her having these hunger pains. Uzkartarga, I can't say the goddamn thing. Uzkartarga, it kind of like keeps punishing her with the curse and all that. And, Leanne's like, hey, like, why does it do that? Why does he keep doing that? And as Cheshire says, just because he can, honey. Which I thought was a really pointed way of saying it. It was just because he's evil, basically. There's no purpose, there's no like thing to gain from it other than just ego and cruelty.
Yeah, just because he can mess with her, like it absolutely, you get the vibe of like the abusive relationship aspect of it here.
Yeah, because she even says, because she's like, hey, do you want to take care of that? And she's like, no, I'm not feeding his kink. Like, that's how she phrases it, his kink. It's a very interesting, again, very pointed way of saying it. It's like you say, an abusive relationship. So, anyway, so they crack a joke here about Cheshire suggesting Shaggy Man as a potential teammate. And that's when Leanne says, hey, I may have someone for you. And that's when we get introduced to Cat Ears girl, which I don't know this character, I don't think.
She is brand new, as far as I could tell. According to that, her name is Alia Rotko, aka Featherweight.
There's always like a little bit here when they'll show a character like this when I'm like, okay, should I know who this is, or is this someone new and I don't actually know? So it's almost a relief to know that it's not someone I'm supposed to recognize. Yep. But no, I mean, like, yeah, they set up this whole thing with the pink cat ears hoodie and cracking a little joke, but they're like, hey, she's pretty young, she's like 20 years old. She's
FaceTiming with her mom. Her mom's all concerned because she's out at like a protest or something.
Yeah. And basically she was pitched to her by Leanne as the potential muscle, because this was after the word like debating Shaggy Man as the muscle, that her name came up, and like, she's like 100 pounds. Like, how is she the muscle? It doesn't make any sense. But this protest is happening, and they start spraying like water at the crowd, and this character, this girl, just comes up and punches their big armored truck, and it goes flying into the wall. And particular shout out to the layout of this 2-page layout, because it does this thing where it's this angled kind of thing in the direction of the truck flying, so you really get this sense of movement. Really good page from an art perspective. Really like that.
You get to see each panel as it colliding with another one of the trucks before it ends up hitting the wall.
Yeah, and that's that bottom corner. You see it just sort of like nestled into the building that it's like caused some damage in. And then you get the perspective up top from the two characters looking down at just the rubble, because they Cheetah and Cheshire up in the roof like watching with binoculars. And they're like, well, let's hope she plays well with others, and that's the end beat of the issue. So
yeah,
no, very good. I mean, obviously it's the building the team issue, and I don't even know if we've got all the members yet. There might be still a couple more to get next time. But art is phenomenal. I think the characterizations of both Cheetah and Cheshire, they're actually just so fun to have talk to each other. Like every scene where they're together, and Leanne's like an extra nice little added space to that as well. There's just such like a fun kind of like, they're kind of villains, but they're very likable, and I like their friendship, and I'm really into them, doing this thing. So they've really nailed that element of it, where I really like them being around each other.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Obviously, you have TV shows like that where we're following someone who's morally not the best, but you get to see things from their perspective. So because they're the protagonist, you just kind of automatically root for them. The difference of this series being is that because there is like this home life to Cheshire. She's got Leanne there, and you get this more empathetic side to Cheetah where she's forced to feed and stuff like that. It makes them very empathetic characters and makes it something that you can care for, and you do want to see at least some success on their end.
And she has definitely got that thing where it's like, oh, like there's a good person in there that like Wonder Woman's been able to kind of like convince to help her at times, and you know, like it's not just like an outright evil through and through type character, and Cheshire to an extent as well. So yeah, no, it's good stuff. I really just like spending time with the characters more than anything else. So if anything, like them going off to talk to other people was almost a detriment, but I do think that the Cheshire scene in the casino, I do think was really well done. Like I really got a good vibe of the, like, I think just the way she had that kind of, again, this is down to the art, but the way she was kind of looking around as she was questioning and talking to this other character just felt like there was a bit of like, I know you've got some extra skills here, like, and just I don't know if cheekiness is the right word, but just like a little bit of personality was shining through. So really like it.
Also, I just looked up the last time that Hazard appeared. It was in 2001.
So you're saying that 9/11 cancelled Hazard, and like only just now, after 24 years, it's time to bring Hazard back?
I'm going to go ahead and say that probably wasn't the cause of it. I'm going to say reader interest, but you know, you could attribute whatever you want there. She started off as an Infinity Inc. villain back in the 80s.
You said 2001, and obviously I'm like, well, geez.
Yes.
9/11 time. So, all right. Fair enough. All right, what were you giving Cheetah in Cheshire?
So I didn't read issue 1 at the time, so I read both these back to back. I think that this one isn't as impressive. What? For someone who buys literally every DC comic every single week, right? Yep. This is something you literally do. It's amazing how every single issue we've talked about today, except Batman issue 1, because it's issue 1, you've said, well, I wasn't keeping up with this, so I read the entire arc for the purpose of talking about this issue. Pete, look, I'm a man of contradictions. What can I say?
You're too busy reading 13 New 52 issues every week.
Yeah, once I'm done with that, I'll start reading Rebirth. I'll catch up. But no, this issue was very good. It is a little bit lesser than the first one. I think that first one really was just something special of how it was put together. It felt very natural. It was so well paced that it just felt like just the easiest, most simple thing to read. This one, introducing a few more characters, shakes it up a little bit, but I do like the dynamic that Leanne has. It's a very interesting way of having her around.
That was cool
between the main two as well.
I wasn't expecting her to show up, but obviously, we did the whole reveal like a few years ago about, oh, this is this is Cheshire's kid, like, you know, because that was like a whole thing. It was like, oh shit, she's around, and they had a reunion. So it's actually kind of cool to just see her hanging around the apartment. It's like, oh, this is her kid. She's just here now, and it was fun hearing her sort of chime in.
It's one of those things that makes it makes it feel like the universe is progressing. We're not constantly stuck in this thing of, oh, we're never going to be able to make any progress. Like, no, she came back, she's been around, and now she's just a teenager. It's I mean, here's just what she's doing.
This could have been so easily just like an out of continuity mini, right? But between Leanne and then the fact that the Watchtower existing here is very much in the recent continuity. That was something that just happened relatively in the recent past. So everything feels like settled into it, and it makes me think not that this is going to have some big ramifications for the DCU or anything, but just this idea that RUCKA is an old school, right? I mean, I've been reading No Man's Land, and all the important issues were written by RUCKA. Like he comes in and does a bunch of issues in that, so he's very good at playing inside the universe where lots of other people are doing stuff and being a part of it. I mean, I think it's easy to forget that because we think of Lazarus, we think of like these other indie books that he's done, and or sticking to just Wonder Woman in its own kind of corner or whatever. But no, I mean, this feels like it's in continuity, it's respecting everything going around it, but doing a very cool, standalone, unique story at the center of it. And I do think that whatever they're going to steal, obviously, they said what it was, but I'm still not convinced it's exactly what they said. Like, it feels like a bit of a metaphor almost for whatever it actually is. I think it's to do with Cheetah wanting to, deal with Ur's Katarga and like deal with this hunger. And I do wonder if that's maybe the big thing that comes out of this is Cheetah is maybe going to have a bit of an evolution where she's maybe a new Cheetah at the end in some capacity.
Yeah, possible. I mean, definitely. I have the feeling that they're going to have Lian be a bit more involved, probably with the entirety of the heist rather than just being off to the side. And if that's the case, they're really developing this relationship between Cheetah and Lian where it's like the cool aunt sort of relationship. Like, this isn't something where it's respecting as a villain or anything like that. And so I think that's going to be the biggest drawback to humanity there that they could really lean on.
Yeah, and I like the cool aunt description. That's exactly what she feels like in this. So, what are you giving Cheetah and Cheshire rob the Justice League?
I'm thinking that this one, I'm going to say 8.5. I think I would have given the last issue a 9 if I were on that, but I'm giving this one an 8.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 or maybe even a 9.5. I really loved that last issue. Yeah, I think it's at least an 8.5. Like it's verging on the 9, honestly. But I'll stick to the 8.5, just so that there's a bit of a scale for this going forward. But I like, it is one of them. Like, RUCKA being back on a DC book, NICOLA SCOTT been on art, it really is, like, like one of the best books when we started this show was their Wonder Woman book. And it's just so fun having, and Cheetah was a part of that, so it feels like a continuation of one of those characters, which is also kind of awesome.